And we are back on Big Board Sports as we talk UAlbany men's lacrosse with the head coach Scott Marr, and it's on to the quarterfinals in a matchup with Denver, which will be on Saturday on the road at Hofstra. They'll play that at 2:30 after the victory over Richmond in convincing style with Connor Fields in the lineup. And Coach Marr joins us here on the Monday show. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Roger. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. And I know on Friday going into the game, I remember you had a conversation with my colleague Chris Honorado that you thought Connor Fields was going to be doubtful. And turns out doubtful turned into playing and playing pretty well. And maybe that's going to be the difference maker here moving forward.
We hope so. We certainly, again, we weren't sure how he was going to react to practice on Friday, so we didn't want to make any decisions until we saw how he felt on Saturday morning. So, he came in and was in the training room with Pat, our trainer, and he said he felt really good. He had no swelling, and the swelling actually is all the way gone now, which is great. We got him a new brace actually last week, and he just kind of fell into place, and he was excited about playing. And we said, listen, let's give it a go, and he played awesome. Really, really excited. He got the first goal of the game. I thought that really energized our crowd and got the boys going early, so got off to a good start.
Yeah, 18-9 win over Richmond, a couple of goals, 5 assists. Nanakoke had 4 goals and 2 assists, and Ray had his first career hat trick. Now, with him if he's at close to 100%, Coach, does this put your team back to where you were earlier in the year, where you were ranked number 1 in the country? Does that get you back to that kind of a team?
I think so. I think it puts us back in a good place. I think everybody else still has to pull their weight, and I thought defensively in the fourth quarter we did a great job of really clamping down on Richmond and not giving them anything in the fourth quarter, which was awesome. JD played well, consistent throughout the whole game, and obviously TD dominated the faceoff. So I think we're right there. Again, we're playing a very, very good opponent. Probably the best coach in college lacrosse history we're going against here, and but I feel good. The kids feel great. We're very confident. Again, just having Connor in the lineup and playing the way he did, and again, just making plays and finding Hogues and the connection they had, and then obviously I think Troy Ray is probably our most underrated player. As a long pole at 3 goals, just makes plays all over the field. So we feel great. Like I said, we're very confident and looking forward to Saturday. And
after that hat trick, Scotty, Troy is lobbying to play a little bit of attack, right?
Yeah, he was joking. That won't happen.
Yeah, I know you put that to bed pretty quickly. UAlbany lacrosse head coach Scott Marr with us here on Big Board Sports 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. Coach, of course, the matchup everybody wants to talk about is what we're going to see at the Dot on Saturday between Trevor Baptiste, who, of course, has the NCAA all-time record for face-offs won, but against your sophomore TD Erlin, who's on a record-setting pace of his own. It's the obvious question, but how big of a difference will that play and who wins on Saturday?
Yeah, obviously having the ball is huge. It's been a huge plus for us all year with TD, and obviously their kid Trevor's obviously one of the best, if not the best, right now of all time in his senior year. So, we'll see what happens. I know this. TD is he preps and he'll be ready. His work ethic, like I've said all year long, is second to none. He'll be ready to play. He'll compete, and he'll give it his all. So we know we have a competitor at the X. Honestly, if we just went 50-50 with these guys and had the ball half the time, would be a plus. We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, everybody's going to talk about it, and it is a huge matchup. But we're certainly confident that TD's going to have a great day.
Coach, how do you imagine? How good is Denver? Give our listeners an idea of how good this Denver team is you'll be up against on Saturday, and how do you match up with them?
Well, they're very good. This is a team that, again, the experience they have on their coaching staff between Coach Tierney, their assistant coaches are, Team Canada coaches, and they're just, when it comes to playoff time, obviously they elevated their game this past weekend against Notre Dame, who I thought was probably the hottest team in the country coming off the ACC tournament. So, we have our work cut out for us, for sure. I think when you get to this level, to this Final 8, you're playing any team, you're playing anybody that can win a national championship, I think. So we're going to have to be at our best for sure. But they play a little bit more of a half-court kind of a game. They don't like to, they'll take advantage of some transition, but they certainly don't like to give it up. They get in the hole pretty quickly. So it's going to be, hopefully we can pick the tempo up a little bit, but they're certainly going to try to slow the game down on us a little. So, we just have to do our best to try to play our style.
Scotty, how about some love for your son yesterday? 5 goals as Johns Hopkins comes back to beat Georgetown. And I especially loved not only his performance, but the interview your wife did with the ESPNU broadcast and about who do you root for, should it be Hopkins and UAlbany. But we're a couple of wins away from that happening. What was it like to be there yesterday to watch Kyle play so well?
Yeah, we were thrilled. What a Mother's Day for my wife and our family. He had a great fourth quarter. We were certainly waiting for his team to wake up. It was a long second and third quarter, that's for sure. But his team is resilient. They played the full 60 minutes and then some. So I was really proud of his team's effort. His coaching staff, they stayed with it, and they played hard, and they're a good team. And I think for them, they had to get over that they hadn't gotten out of the first round in a couple of years. So that's the first time Kyle's made it past the first round. So he had a fun day, but obviously they had to get him the ball, and there's his teammates obviously were involved in that. So just a good team effort by his group.
Hey, Scott, what is the plan for Fields this week now? I mean, obviously, they got great results from him on Saturday, and you're hoping that he can be as close to 100% as possible for this big one on Saturday. What is the plan here during the week for Connor Fields?
Yeah, well, again, I talked with him yesterday, and he had no swelling and everything, so he felt really good, and we'll probably limit him at some point during the week, but at this point in the season, we only really go 2 days during the week. Tuesday, Wednesday will be our harder days of practice where we'll actually play. So he'll probably participate pretty good in those days, and then Thursday, Friday we'll take it back a little bit and let him rest and get ready for Saturday.
Well, hey, listen, you've been in this spot before, right? That we all know that. I'm sure you know that. The players know that. Did you address that much this week, or just kind of let this thing play out?
No, every team's different. This is our journey. This is the 2018 team. Has nothing to do with 17 or 07 or, this is these guys' journey. This is a senior class that's really worked hard to get to this point, and the leadership they provided all year. And so we're excited to get down there and have an opportunity to win and move on to the Final Four. So the past does nothing for us, win or lose in any of those games. So we're just worried about the 2 hours that we're going to play on Saturday.
Coach, going to be a fun week leading up to a big Saturday, and all eyeballs on UAlbany men's lacrosse. And hey, how about 4,800? Is that what you had at Casey Stadium on Saturday? That's a heck of a crowd right there.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter that said we combined the other 3 games on Saturday, had 4,700, and we had 4,800. So we outdrew 3 other games.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's great.
So we thank our fans for all year. 10 games. We were 10-0 at home. And our fan support was just absolutely tremendous. So thank you, everybody.
Scotty, thank you. Keep up the great work. We'll talk to you later in the week.
Go get him, Coach.
See you, Chris. Bye-bye.